This group has the ability to work together to create a historic opportunity for the Palestinian people and the people of this region. Some people have mockingly called this effort the deal of the century, but at its core, it is not just about making a deal. In fact, this effort is better referred to as
the opportunity of the century.
Have you ever stopped to think about how technological advancements, global changes, and even the most powerful leaders are intertwined with biblical prophecies that date back thousands of years? While the world remains distracted by daily life, there is a silent but powerful movement shaping the future of humanity. And the most surprising thing, what was predicted in the scriptures seems to be unfolding right before our eyes. The idea of a global government, controlled by a technological and political elite, is no longer a distant theory, it is already in action. Elon Musk, Donald Trump, and other leaders may be, unknowingly, paving the way for what the Bible describes as the beginning of the end, the arrival of a false peace, and the rise of the Antichrist. Does it sound controversial? Certainly. But the signs are everywhere, and ignoring them could be a fatal mistake. As the world approaches 2030, with its promises of sustainability and progress, it is crucial to look beyond the surface. Behind these global initiatives could be a much deeper plan, a plan that involves controlling our lives on levels never seen before. And if you want to understand how all of this is connected, from Musk's technological advancements to Trump's peace negotiations, you need to dive headfirst into this truth before it's too late. While the public was distracted by a flood of headlines about Diddy, something crucial was unfolding behind the scenes. The world, always busy with momentary crises and sensational events, paid little attention to the signing of a global agreement made by the UN with key nations. This agreement, kept away from the spotlight, aims to advance the 2030 agenda, with the goal of ensuring supposed world peace and establishing global governance. For those who follow international movements, it may seem that the pieces are strategically falling into place, almost as if they were premeditated steps towards a new world order. Now, imagine the impact this could have. Amidst debates about sustainability, social inequality, and climate change, this agenda seeks to unite nations under a common purpose. However, what few question is the real goal behind this union. The promise of a better future may seem appealing, but the details are vague and the implications vast. Many already suggest that this could be the first step toward something bigger, something that could change the way power is distributed in the world. And when the public finally realizes it, will it be too late to reverse? The connections between Donald Trump and this global movement also cannot be ignored. The idea of a unified governance, camouflaged in a discourse of peace and progress, echoes old concepts present in many conspiracy theories, particularly those related to the rise of the Antichrist. But there is much more behind this curtain than one might imagine, and the effects of this alliance could reverberate in various global, economic, and political spheres. This is just the beginning of a plot that unfolds silently but with devastating potential. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, two figures who at first glance seem to be on opposite sides of the political and social spectrum, end up revealing an intriguing connection when it comes to global issues. In videos and discussions circulating online, many suggest that the relationship between these two magnates goes beyond mere coincidence. Musk, with his technological innovations and his obsession with a sustainable future, and Trump, with his dominant presence in world politics, are pointed out as participants in a joint effort to shape the future of global governance. And when we talk about an agenda like 2030, their influences seem to converge. For those watching closely, the idea of Elon Musk collaborating with Donald Trump to establish a one-world government may seem fantastical. But if we look closer, we realize that the two share an interest in technologies capable of controlling communication and even population movements. Musk, for example, with his satellites and advances in artificial intelligence, already has the necessary tools to monitor the world in real time. And Trump, always involved in debates about national security and peace agreements, could be the political face of this collaboration. The alliance between technology and politics is not new, but this particular combination raises deep questions. Furthermore, this union of minds may be aligned with the idea of a government that promises world peace, which, at first glance, sounds like a solution to many of today's problems. However, it is here that many begin to draw parallels with biblical prophecies. The idea of a false peace, led by figures of great global influence, could be the prelude to something much bigger and more dangerous. The seeds are being planted, but few seem to realize how much this connection could shape the future. The 2030 Agenda is an ambitious plan aimed at global transformation, covering everything from environmental issues to profound changes in governance models. With concepts such as ESG, environmental, social, and governance, and the Great Reset gaining prominence, the agenda focuses on creating a future where world peace and sustainability are the central pillars. However, what lies behind this promise? The idea of uniting governments around common goals seems harmless, but throughout history, whenever there was a concentration of power, unforeseen challenges and consequences arose. For those who follow global movements, the implementation of this agenda is an essential piece in the redesign of the current system. On the surface, there is talk of peace and transformation, but the gears of this machine are much more complex. The concept of global governance, which is being carefully inserted into discussions, evokes images of a world in which nations give up their autonomy for a greater good. However, at the same time, this can open the door to political and economic manipulation, creating a scenario where the few control the many. To some, the 2030 Agenda represents an opportunity to correct past mistakes and avoid future catastrophes, but to others it is an ideal platform for implementing centralized control. The ideas of sustainability and inclusive capitalism, while seemingly just, may be masking darker intentions. When all the pieces come together, it is hard not to draw parallels with biblical warnings about the coming of a global order that will bring a false peace. And as events unfold, many are already beginning to question what is really to come. Do you feel like we are living in challenging times but still cannot fully understand what is happening around us? To help you clearly and quickly understand the signs surrounding us, it is essential to pay attention to the prophecies being fulfilled in our days. Many still do not realize the magnitude of what is happening in the world, and that is exactly why I decided to offer something special to all the channel's subscribers, an exclusive digital ebook titled The Secret Behind the Holy Bible. This book is a unique opportunity to access impactful revelations about biblical prophecies that will open your eyes to the current reality. Don't miss this unique chance. The knowledge contained in this ebook can transform the way you see the events around you, offering a new perspective on global occurrences that are directly linked to what was prophesied millennia ago. And the best part? The process to get your gift is quick and simple. Just click the link available in the first pinned comment for an immediate download of the ebook. Throughout the centuries, many of the biblical prophecies have sparked curiosity and fear in people. Today, as we observe the world stage, it is nearly impossible to ignore the similarities between current events and what was predicted. The notion of a global government, where a single entity brings a false sense of peace, resonates deeply in the scriptures. Many believe that this false peace is directly linked to the rise of the Antichrist, who will unite nations under his leadership. The connection between these events and the 2030 Agenda is something that should not be underestimated. The scriptures speak of a time when a charismatic leader will emerge, promising to resolve conflicts and bring stability to the world. However, this peace will be temporary and deceptive. When we look at the global agreements being formed, such as the ones the UN has been orchestrating, it seems the signs are coming to fruition. Governments are being invited to give up part of their sovereignty in the name of a greater goal, while the promise of a better future is used as bait for something much darker. To many, this sounds like the harbinger of what was written in books like Revelation. This idea of a global government, although wrapped in good intentions, raises deep questions about control and freedom. While world leaders continue to make agreements that seem to align with prophecies, the question many are asking is, who is really in control? And more importantly, what will be the cost of this illusory peace? When it comes to prophecies, the signs are everywhere, and for those who are paying attention, the future is beginning to take shape in a truly alarming way. Since the 1980s, Donald Trump has stood out as an influential figure in discussions about world peace. Although many see him as a controversial leader, it is undeniable that he has a long history of involvement in global peace agreements. His most notable involvement was with the Abraham Accords, which brought a new dynamic to relations between the Middle East and the West. Trump has always presented himself as a negotiator capable of mediating conflicts and bringing solutions where others have failed, consolidating his image as a peacemaker in various spheres of global influence. This role as a peacemaker has been constantly reinforced, especially when it comes to his desire to create bridges between nations in conflict. The way he positions himself is no accident. Trump knows that being associated with major peace agreements gives him a global leadership status. However, for those who observe the scriptures, there is an underlying concern his figure may be being used as part of a larger narrative, linked to the creation of an environment that may soon be fertile ground for the rise of the Antichrist, as many believe the Bible foretold. Trump's involvement in peace efforts is also strategic when it comes to his support base. He knows that many see him as a providential figure, someone who can restore order and bring stability to international chaos. However, this savior image can be misleading. For those who follow the prophecies, the idea of a leader who unites nations and promotes lasting peace is seen with caution. After all, as the Bible warns us, this type of peace may be just a smokescreen for something much more sinister that is yet to come. The promise of world peace is something humanity has sought for millennia. However, the Bible repeatedly warns us about a peace that is actually illusory and deceptive. This concept of false peace is particularly dangerous because it seems to offer everything people desire: security, stability, and prosperity. However, behind this facade is the prelude to times of great tribulation. Many biblical prophecy experts believe we are seeing the first steps of this false peace being implemented by global leaders who promise to unite nations around a common purpose. The Bible warns that this deceptive peace will be promoted by a charismatic leader, who will have the ability to deceive even the most devout. This leader, often interpreted as the Antichrist, will bring temporary unity to the world, only to destroy that stability soon after. When we see figures like Donald Trump and other leaders involved in peace initiatives, it is crucial to ask, is this peace real, or are we witnessing the beginning of something much more sinister? The current global scenario, with agreements and promises of global governance, seems alarmingly aligned with biblical warnings. The greatest danger lies in the fact that this false peace will deceive even the most faithful. The promise of solving the world's greatest problems is tempting, but the truth is that this temporary solution could lead to an even greater crisis. When Elon Musk, Trump, and others talk about a unified future and global peace, many wonder if they are witnessing the preparation for the coming of the Antichrist. This is a time of extreme vigilance, where every step toward peace must be examined with critical eyes, for the price of this apparent peace may be freedom and truth. Today, technology is advancing at such a rapid pace that it is almost impossible to keep up with its global implications. Elon Musk, with his revolutionary innovations such as satellites and artificial intelligence, has become a key figure in this new scenario. The question many are asking is, to what extent are these technologies being used for the common good? And to what extent might they be tools of control? For those who study biblical prophecies, the use of technology in establishing a global government is something that was anticipated centuries ago. The idea that these innovations could be used to monitor, track, and eventually control the population is a growing concern. Through projects like Starlink, Musk has the ability to provide internet to the entire planet, but also to monitor practically any global activity. This level of control is frighteningly similar to biblical descriptions of a global system where no one can buy or sell without being under the control of a central entity. The combination of technologies such as artificial intelligence, satellites, and even advances in biotechnology could be used to implement what many believe to be the prelude to the Antichrist's rule, a system that promises convenience and security in exchange for freedom and privacy. While technological innovation promises to improve lives, such as advances in medicine and global connectivity, we must question what we are sacrificing in return. Elon Musk and other technological visionaries may be developing tools with good intentions, but these same tools can easily be turned into instruments of control by those with less noble intentions. As the world moves toward global governance, technology becomes the key that can unlock both a prosperous future and a future of total submission. It is a delicate balance that we must watch carefully. With all this in mind, we can no longer ignore what is before us. Biblical prophecies, which for so long were seen as mere stories or distant warnings, seem to be coming to life in our modern world. Technology, global agreements, and promises of a peace that may actually be false indicate that we are heading for a radical transformation. The question you need to ask now is, are you prepared for this? Are you ready to question what is happening around you and seek the truth behind this facade of progress and unity. The future is no longer a matter of if, but when. Technology is already being used to control and monitor. World leaders are already preparing the ground, and the time to act is now. So I ask you, what are you going to do with this knowledge? Will you continue to blindly follow the flow, or will you start investigating, questioning, and preparing for what is to come? This is the moment to open your eyes and see the world for what it really is. If you want to keep learning about these crucial topics and truly understand how current events are connected with biblical prophecies and the technological advancements shaping the future, this is the right place. Every step we take today is paving the way for something much bigger. And being well informed is the key to not being caught off guard when changes materialize. Closely following these matters gives you a unique advantage, allowing you to prepare mentally, spiritually, and even financially for the times ahead. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications, because this is more than just information. It is a call to take a stand. Each new video will bring you more insights on how these global movements directly affect your life, your freedom, and even the way you make decisions in your daily life. From understanding the intentions behind big corporations and governments, to learning how technology can be used for both good and total control. This knowledge is your shield against the subtle manipulations of the system. Don't wait until it's too late to act. Together we can dive even deeper into these topics and unravel the hidden connections that most people simply overlook. By subscribing and turning on notifications, you ensure that you won't miss any of this essential content for your understanding. Be ready for what's to come, knowing the truth before it reveals itself in the hardest way. Let's build a community of conscious, attentive, and prepared people to face the challenges on the horizon. Don't forget to download our book, The Secret Behind Biblical Prophecies. With over 500,000 copies sold, we are down to the last units, so don't waste time and take advantage. I guarantee you will gain a lot of knowledge after reading this sensational book, made with much care and love for all subscribers of our channel, entirely based on the Holy Bible. The link is in the first pinned comment.